Muhire Caleb, Gloria Senyonyo, the next on table 1. Junior Asiku, Yahya Mpindi, the next on table number 3. Jonathan Ntwari, Drake Waswa Kayanja, table 2. Dan Muhiru, Lukomwa Azari, table number 4.
Dakika satu. Tejibana satu.
Table 5, 2 minutes. Table 2, table 5, 2 minutes. 1 minute. 1 minute, table 5. The umpire is 1 minute.
Good afternoon, dear viewers. Welcome to the second quarter final being streamed live. It is two of Uganda's finest players on present date. Two friends in real life can be good rivals on table. When Cesar Chandiga faces up with Rashid Wagaba, you know that is class versus class, also form versus form, expertise versus expertise, short per short, entertainment after entertainment. This one is a quarterfinal. They are racing to 5 in 55 minutes. At the elapse of that time, should those guys be drawing, they could have could have penalties unless they have less than 7 balls left on the table. 0-0 in the first frame between the dog in the city and the scorpion. And on the microphone is Simon Peter Chobe. Welcome to the PAU YouTube channel. Live commentary resuming shortly.
Then table 2, they are going to penalties, table 2.
Last time out that these two guys faced off in any competition of this magnitude, be reminded that it ended in a very convincing victory for Dog City. If you do remember, the quarterfinals of a tournament that was organized at Team Cell building exactly 2 weeks ago, they faced off in that quarterfinal. The race that was 7 ended 7-4. Dog City winning in the only tournament he has won this year, but it was, in my opinion, the most convincing ever tournament he did win, after playing so well and outshining so many opponents, apart from one joker, the only one against whom he won by a decider. There was a time when I momentarily considered these two to be Uganda's best players, this especially 2023. They faced at some point in 2023, because during that year they faced off 10 times, with each one of them winning 5 against the other. And the victories for Rashid Wagaba were quite convincing, quite one-sided, even against Caesar. That is the year when he almost was able to outshine both Caesar and Ibrahim, most especially in tournaments like this one. He won quite a few, and many of them he was beating either one of them to win or defeating both of them on the course to the final. Be reminded of the V8 Pool Compay tournament of 64 players, including Uganda's best and Kenya's best and a few Tanzanians, that happened at Rakatak Pool Club in Kisumu, Western Kenya, won by Dog City. I do remember him outclassing Cesar Chandiga in the round of 32 by 7 frames to 1. a tournament earlier in the year that was organized at the Black Sheep Arena in Mukono. Again, won by Dog City. He did beat Caesar in the quarterfinals in a race to 7 by 7 frames to 4 again. And yet, in the final, he was even more lethal against Ibra, whom he beat by 9 frames to 1. Of course, later in the year, Caesar get to right all the wrongs that Dog City did inflict on him when he defeated him again in the quarterfinals of the National Open Pool Championship, sponsored by Nile Special, organized by again the Pool Association of Uganda. They faced off in the round of last 8, the quarterfinals. The match was won by Caesar by 7 frames to 4. The tournament that he won to drive away the car that he came driving all the way from Kampala up to Fort Portal. And after then, it were about 4 consecutive victories in which Caesar was defeating Dog City until around mid last year, when the ATA did organize a sponsored race between the two for $300 one the winner in a race winning $200 and the winner taking home $100 even in defeat. The race was won by Dog City Racing to 15, did end by 15 frames to 8.
Then we have on table 4.
There were 2 victories more for Caesar against Dog City, both at the Kamwacha Pool Center during those Wednesday weekly comps until late 2 weeks ago when they faced off in the Temseo Grand Open Championship, which was won by Dog City after beating Caesar in the quarterfinals. And I know that while Caesar has pretty much the lion's share of victories against Dog City, he still has unfinished business over this guy, because he has as well defeated him quite a few times. This one should be frame number 1, being won by the Scorpion. From this position, he will want to put both yellow and black to the same corner pocket on the bottom of your screen. Top spin on the yellow, white following the yellow, having accurate white for the black, in the easiest position for a player of this caliber. Caesar 1 and Dog City 0.
Umpires, look clear on the score sheet. It clearly indicates the race the players are.
Was it? 5 minutes earlier.
48 minutes to go. A race to 5 with the possibility of penalties in case these 2 players are drawing at the elapse of 55 minutes for which this race is timed. Quarterfinal number 2. A relatively big break by Dog City. Will he pot a ball? Yes, he does. A yellow is sunk. Not the best split of the balls he would have wanted. Not easy to win by break and finish. And yes, he is the one of Uganda's best players. A group of players who are clearly the best. The Dog Cities, the Caesars, the Odongs, the Computers, the Kasozis, the Ibras, the Kayanjas, name them. He's the one that has never won a tournament of the Pool Association of Uganda. In fact, if Dog City wins this match, it will be the very first time ever that he will be in a semi-final of a PAU comp. It will only be the very first time. The other time he did reach the quarterfinals, he lost to this same opponent he's facing up against 7-3 in 2023 in the National Open Grand Finale. One frame up for Caesar, 1 frame up for down for Dog City. They are playing for the same pool club, these two, Upper Volta in Kasubi. They've for most of the last 2 years been under the same management team, the ATA. Dog City now, in terms of management, under as well his club, that is Upper Volta. Trying to beat Caesar for the second consecutive time. If he does, it will be the very first time he will be in a PAU comp semi-final. However talented, however good he is, that one is one dent on his career. He has had his shine outside the country. He has had his shine in tournaments outside of the PAU calendar. He has shined for his club. He has shined in China, in Morocco, in Tanzania, in Zimbabwe, in Zambia. But for the comps of the Plus Session of Uganda, he is still wanting in that area. This presents a chance for him today to try and redeem himself, winning a competition, but first having to do one of the more difficult things, take down the guy that is regarded unofficially Uganda's best player. Apologies, Mr. Rogers, who updates the scores, is taking a little bit of warrage. So most of the times he keeps forgetting, but please forgive him. It's 1-0. Critical shooting this, and critically missed by Dog City. Normally, when your opponent is the Scorpion, that kind of miss is illegal because he will never ever allow you back onto the table. Remember that he too, despite belief in many sections of the public and beyond, in the region and on the continent, without a shadow of a doubt, they do consider him the best player in the country. He has only one tournament of the association, and that is a little bit lacking. He needs more and more and more. The month of February hasn't been his very best. In January, he participated in 4 comps, winning them all. In February, he participated in 5, winning only 1. And including an occasion where he lost to the guy who is his opponent as we speak. Now, even Caesar being Caesar, I believe here he could go for safety, he could go for snooker, hide white ball, right behind one of the yellows. If he goes for a clearance, it could be a little bit too risky. Yes, he plays safe. Dog City is snookered.
Table 1 and table 4 are interfering with play. Please kindly do the needful.
A tempting shot in which he could curve the white ball just a little bit round the yellow, then allow it to move towards the direction where there is the red. If he can perfect that and at least avoid fouling, but whether or not he can pot is something different altogether. And yet even finding the red but missing the pot would be a little bit too risky. He could go for power here, using the cushion for support of the white ball. He goes for precision, finds the red but doesn't pot. I would say congratulations to him for not fouling, but for as long as this guy has a chance to still play, it is always risky business for his opponent. There comes the Scorpion. It is that point of the match where I like to say that the rest is a formality. White ball bouncing off the yellow, off the cushion, back into space, straight, direct to the center pocket on the top of your screen. It's going to be 2-0 in the next moment. Caesar 2 and Rashid Wagaba 0. Rest to 5 in 55 minutes. It is now 41 minutes to go, in which Dog City needs to win 5 frames before Caesar can win 3. It is a void break in the frame. It is irrespective of whether or not they have potted a ball or not. It is irrespective of whether white ball was potted or a ball jumped off the table. It is the same player breaking again as long as black was potted on the break. The last quarter final is happening on another table. Also a very good game between Caleb and Glorious. There is also Hazard taking on Dan Mobiru, the guy that beat the Zambian import Moses Mafia in the round of last 16. So all boys were eliminated from the tournament way back. It is now men against men. The equivalent of around just over $800 is not very bad money for whoever of these these 8 guys will be winning this competition, and yet all of them are already in the money. All the composure and table inspection is testament of how serious Caesar is taking this competition. He started participating in tournaments of the Plus Session of Uganda, Caesar, in the year that must have been 2018, when he qualified for the National Open Championships Grand Finale. I remember him qualifying at should be Capital Pub in the Northern District of Lira. In the National Open Grand Finale, believe you me, he was defeated by guess who? The one and only Sero. Of all people, Sero defeated Caesar. However, later in the year, he returned to the capital city and participated in a tournament of the Plus Session of Uganda outside of the National Open. That was for the first time. He impressed for the very first time, reaching the quarterfinals. He was a very small teenager. Tournament that was organized at Georgina Gardens in Kasubi in Kampala. He lost out to eventual first runner-up Lugola Simon in the semi-finals. Then started making it a habit to frequent himself between Lira, Gulu and Kampala for tournaments of the Plus Station of Uganda, until the Gulu Pool fraternity did pick him up as a player whom they have been nurturing up to present date, moving out of Lira, staying in Gulu, also playing in the Gulu Pool League with Diana Gardens Pool Club. Later in 2018, he was snatched up by a team in the mainstream pool league of the Plus Station of Uganda. It was called CKI Pool Club, for whom he played only for 1/2 season, most of the time being on the bench, but now resident in the city. And look at that kind of shooting from the Scorpion, inspiring a round of applause from the fans as he puts his last yellow off his opponent's red, as Dog City looks on and simply watches. But putting a black will not be a formality. He has to make either a very sharp cut, look at this kind of distance between white and black, or play defense as if he's playing some kind of safety, as if it's what he's doing, just playing black right against the cushion. He's making a cut. My goodness. Look at the round of applause, the cheers from all over the crowd as they witness the Scorpion in the city of Fort Portal for the very first time. They've always been watching him online. Today, they witness magic right in front of their eyes and in real time. The Scorpion produces one of the best shots of this competition. He leads 3-0 against Dog City, and we have 35 minutes left. Now, when you have that guy Caesar as an opponent, and he goes 3-0 up, and the race is only 5, it is only natural to run out of sorts. Indeed, Dog City has fouled on the break. And normally when that happens, there is no prize for guessing what could happen next. Normally, the Scorpion doesn't give you a second lease of life. This one should be him winning a 4th to restrict Dog City to need 5 frames in a row, something that is quite unlikely. At the time that I've seen Caesar lose 5 frames in a row, and I'm speaking as though I am assuming this frame he has already lost, was in his first money match against South Africa's Aiden Joseph in Kampala, when he led by 20 frames to 16, but lost that match, which was a race to 21 for $2,000 at Tickles and Giggles. The only time in my life that I have ever seen Caesar crying, shedding some tears simply because of losing a match. He was brave enough to follow Aiden up to Nairobi, where he was headed after the tour of Kampala, and racing him to 21 against Aiden with double the stake, which was $4,000, marking the first time ever that Caesar defeated Aiden Joseph out of 4 money matches in a row. The last one happening just around 3 months ago in Lusaka, Zambia. The other time I do remember him losing 5 frames in a row in the recent past was the V8 pool comp against Dog City himself, when Caesar was defeated by 7 frames to 1. It was 1-1 at one time before Dog City won the next 6 frames. Also, another time he lost 5 frames in a row was in the round of last 16 of the just concluded National Open Championships Grand Finale on 30th of November last year, when he lost out with a big margin of victory, 6 frames to 0 against Dan Mwiru. But for now, seems to be in some rare kind of trouble. His biggest prospect of a recovery shot here is if he can put one of the yellows to the center pocket, if he can have this camera angle, that one. Yes, he can put. Controlling the white ball is something different altogether. He will want the white ball around the middle of the table. I think that will work. However, white ball may not move naturally for him to put black. If he can roll the yellow to the corner pocket on the bottom left, that's why he needs a little bit of spin. Avoid contact between white and red. Avoid putting white to the center pocket. Also bounce the white off the cushion. Try and put black to the corner pocket on the bottom, and misses the target. Finally, a very good chance presents itself for Dog City to win a frame for the very first time in the match. Glorious Senyenjo leading against Caleb Mohire. By the way, the ladies semi-finals have been confirmed. An all-sister semi-final, Rukia versus Rashida. Again, Rosette taking on Julie. Rosette is the surprise package of the ladies event, no shade of a doubt. Nobody expected him to reach anywhere near the levels where she is, especially beating 2 players with the form and the class of Amina Faith Nganda and Sharon Mirembe. And after that victory over those two, you can never say never that she can make all the way to the final. I did see her making a video call to her dad after qualifying for the semi-finals. That is how serious these players take some of these victories. I believe Dog City could be tempted to play snooker, but Dog City is not a snookering player. He is an offensive player. His intention was to have the white ball open up the second red, not so open, but the white ball is not so bad either. A simple roll of that red ball will do as long as he's on target. He doesn't even roll. He did something a little bit classy, a little bit difficult, with the big spin on the white ball, bouncing it off the cushion, off two cushions actually. He is now on the black, and Caesar knows that he is losing the first frame in this match, most especially after missing the last yellow. Dog City comes back to punish him. Rashid, Wagaba 1, and Caesar Chandiga 3. I've been informed that when there is a fault in the table mechanism, that time is counted and re-added to the players when their time elapses. 3-1, Caesar up, rest to 5. Abdul Karim is asking how Senyenyo Glorious is. He's leading by 4 frames to 1. You must be watching from somewhere in Masaka. You have to be very anticipative that the guy is making the semi-final. He is quite consistent, by the way, in tournaments of the Polar Session of Uganda. He reaches the prize bracket most of the time, apart from the National Open. John Bosco, you want number 4 to be the center table, table number 4. Okay. Maybe it will depend on what the organizers think of it. Maybe it's not easy to change, most especially where it favors fans viewing. Rest to 55 minutes. In this one, we are left with only 27. It's enough time for Dog City to try and mount a comeback, most especially after cutting his deficit from 3 frames to 2, after ceding frame number 4. I want to borrow that word, away from Caesar. And after this tournament, personally, I expect to be streaming a Heibo comp during the week. One of these two players could be participating in that one. Then a 16-man comp in the next week. As we are now already way into the month of March, the big one coming in the month of April is at Queen's Sports Club in Bulawayo, where these two players are expected to be participating in the 3rd edition of the Queen's Sports Club Annual AA Championship, happening from the 11th up to the 14th of April this year. Once again, the venue is Queen's Sports Club, Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, and I will be streaming from that part of the world, the beautiful country of Zimbabwe. What a proud people they are of being Zimbabweans. That's one thing that I really know about them. Will Dog City try and pot red off the yellow or direct as long as he can pot? It looks like a very fine shot. It looks like a very fine opportunity for him to win frame number 2. Now when you go down, when you start mounting a comeback there, the big advantage you have is that psychological advantage now goes in favor of yourself. It could put the mental fortitude of your opponent in jeopardy. The white ball has been moved by Dog City quite further than he would have fancied. What he needs is not a simple roll of the black. I believe he has to have a big shot on the black going for power, having white ball bounce off the cushion on the left, moving the whole distance of the table like that. Like that. It was precise. He is snookered. That is the most unfortunate shot you will be having in this match, especially after being executed so well, but only 99.9% accurate. 0.1% inaccurate, and that could be the difference between Dog City winning this frame and losing it. He wants to find the black off cushion. It is a foul. Advantage Caesar. Dog City is just at his seat, laughing at himself, imagining what could really have been, because he came so close to winning this ongoing frame, and to really make this match very interesting. If he had made it 3-2, I'm assuming that he will not be making it 3-2. It will instead be Caesar making it 4 frames to 1. That one was the relatively bad position of all the 6 yellows he had on the table. It is at this stage that I like to say that the rest is a formality. It is normally a few hundreds of viewers enjoying the Scorpion, making a routine clearance on the table. Ayonga Wycliffe, it is race to 5. To Muhimbi Sir Andrews. Well, you want me to talk about Ibra Sejemba? Okay, Ibra was defeated in the round of last 32 by Kalema Paul, so he's no longer participating in this competition. He is out. And who doesn't remember Kalema Paul? Most especially in the Dice Lounge Cream de la Cream comp. A little backspin from Caesar. Backspin off the cushion. Even though a shot looks that simple for a player like this, he gets a round of applause. He leads 4-1. There are 4 frames to go, and Dog City must win them all, or else his competition comes to a quarter-final end. Once again, this is a 4, and Rashid Wagaba 1.
The ladies semi-finals are race for 5. The master semi-finals are race for 4.
It is now 4-2, Glorious leading against Caleb Mohiri. On the table where they are playing, it is 26 minutes to go. It's enough time for Caleb to mount a comeback. But here, with 22 minutes left, it is 4-1 Caesar leading. Whatever Dog City can do about this kind of thumping, your guess is as good as mine. It has to be a very special performance from him, using very little time and winning all the remaining frames for him to qualify for the semi-finals for what will be the very first semi-final for himself in a tournament of the Pole Association of Uganda. And for Caesar's other tournaments in which he has been performing in the Pole Association of Uganda, after the Easter Cup in 2018 at Georgina Gardens in Kasubi, of course then came the Grand Open of 2020, because there was a year of inactivity because of lack of sponsorship and administrative reasons. In the 2020 Grand Open, he was defeated by Amos Ndiagumanawe in the round of last 16. And in 2021 Grand Open Championship, he reached the round of last 16 of the second edition of the Grand Open at Portit Sports Bar in Kampala, losing out in the quarterfinals. Things were not really working out. That's the time when, after the competition, especially when he left to Zambia to participate in the Zambian Pro League with Sharks Pro Club, returning to the country at the end of 2022, reaching the King of the Table Championships quarterfinals, losing out to Habib Sebuguzi, again tournament of the Pole Association of Uganda. 2024 was his year when he won the National Open Championship Grand Finale, winning the car competition for the first time in his career. His own course to make a semi-final of a tournament of the Pole Association of Uganda again, as long as he can put the last three reds remaining on the table and the black, something that normally he will do with not too much difficulty. Saison Alfred is asking if Kalima Paul is still in. The answer is no. The white ball is speaking a little bit of English, bouncing off two cushions. He will probably want to put both reds to the same corner pocket, bottom of your screen. One is down with a little bit of backspin, one to go. He needs to spin the white ball backwards, using the cushion to support the movement of the white ball towards the position where there is the black. It is seemingly effortless. As long as he can roll the black to the corner pocket now on the bottom right of your screen, he is home and dry. Caesar Chandiga is in the semis. Most feared player by the opponents, jumps another hurdle. He made light work of Dog City compared to how difficult Dog City was expected to challenge Caesar. Final score 5-1 Caesar